Hi everyone, this is last week of the month of March. Very important, very important. The quarter is ending, month is ending, week is ending, and we are in middle of a phase where a lot of things are happening, not just crypto, but beyond crypto. You know, the war is pushing the price of commodities higher and higher. That is building pressure on central government because higher the commodity price, higher the risk of inflation, and not just inflation is already there, but acceleration of inflation. Higher the inflation means higher than the pressure on Federal Reserve and other central banks on rising interest rate faster than ever, higher than what they probably would like to. In that market condition, the impact on equity, including Bitcoin, will be realized after a few weeks or few months, in my opinion. So it's very interesting time because right now, if you look at from a technical point of view, Bitcoin and other currencies are now started rising. So it's like there is a storm few miles away. The storm hasn't reached. Now one storm has already passed, which is like a correction from the all-time high. And now whatever bounce we are seeing is very encouraging. But there is one more storm that we just talked about, which is inflation driven storm. And that is a bigger storm than any other storm because everything at a historical level. Bonds are crashing after 40 years. I mean, there is a wave, but point is, inflation is highest in last 40 years. Bonds are crashing. Usually when the stock crashes or goes down, people invest in bond. It used to be like 60 40 50 50 30 70. That kind of portfolio management technique used to be, say, 30% bond, 70% equity, if it is kind of moderate. um, More conservative would be more bond in terms of percentage and less in equity. Aggressive would be 80% equity and 20% bond. That kind of composition people used to make in traditional market. But this time the total different thing. There is no way to escape. Why? Because the bonds are crashing. So that also the regular way of investing is also not working. I'm not saying all the stocks are going down, but indices have improved in last few days. But if you look at they corrected in this year. So what is happening? The stock index is correct and in correction, except few days of bounce, and the bond is also going down heavily. So very different market. Crypto also went down, we know, right? And commodities are going up. So the money is flowing into commodities. That's the reality. So in general, commodities means oil, grains, natural gas, and many other things. So that's where the money is getting in because people see that that is going up because it's very important topic to be understood here. For an example, the commodities, if you look at the wheat production, the Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine, they like 30% of the global provider of the wheat. So, and this is like this springtime is the plantation time. If they are not able to plant this time, then the impact will be realized after few months. That means Africa and the European nations will face the challenge with the wheat and other food that is provided by Ukraine. So, like, for everyone, we would like this war to be ended as soon as possible. If not, then wheat is just an example, but many commodities are likely to go up in coming days. That means more pressure on Federal Reserve and central banks to raise interest rate. That means liquidity crunch. That means higher interest rate. And lot of why I'm saying this, if this is about crypto, because it's related. The If you think that everything is happening using cash, that's not the case. Okay, most of the economical sorry, most of the trading happens or driven by credit money. Okay, by borrowed money. That's the reality. You can have a you can research more. but you and me probably spending cash. But if you look at the overall market, it's all um, like most, not all, I should not say all, but most of the money is credit driven, not cash. And also, if I talk about cash, the $200 billion from Fed is not going to come now. The pump that was happening for months and months, QE, quantitative easing, is gone. So that free money is gone. Not only that, they'll be purchasing asset after a few months. That means whatever they bought using those money, they basically pump more money and bought asset. What they'll do, they'll sell those asset, some bond and some, anyway, that's a different topic. But the point is, even if we just focus on QE, not a QT, which is like reducing their balance sheet, that you can study. But the point is, the free money that was pouring into equity market and crypto market, that is gone. Okay, so it's not that there won't be any cash. There will be cash, of course. There'll be investors, and there are some good news. um, Goldman Sachs Open Trading Desk, OTC. I think that's a big deal in my opinion. More and more adoption is happening in crypto. I can see the mood in on CNBC. They used to be like crypto traders or crypto investors are like aliens, as if, and now they think that it's mainstream. A lot of crypto companies are sponsoring the program on CNBC and Bloomberg TV that I watch often. And now a lot of news and coverage as if crypto is mainstream. It is mainstream. So that is a big news. So there are some challenges and risks that I mentioned, but against that there are some very good news, which is, I think, the Goldman news is very appealing to me, because Goldman is a big name in the US and Wall Street. If they start a desk for crypto, that means it's like opening a golden gate. That means a lot of institutional buyers are coming in coming days. And if the Goldman starts, that means it's chain reaction. That means all other banks will start soon if they're not, if they haven't started. So it's like that. So there's going to be a lot of attention and investment, in my opinion. So very interesting time, right? So there is a global macro challenge that I mentioned on overall capital market in coming months. In my opinion, the effect will be realized in 2023. Maybe we'll pass 2022 by some me, but 2023 will be more challenged, in my opinion. Okay, based on what I studied. So let's see how it goes. So we have mix of news at a macro level, macro factors that I call. Okay, so just a quick highlight. Very interesting time. These are fundamentals. These are the fundamentals I track and I care about. The fundamentals of crypto project is minor. I mean, those are not major from price action point of view. These are the topics affect the trend, change the trend, in my opinion. Otherwise, small news here and there will pump the coin. One tweet goes there, some buy something, sell some, I mean, integrate with something, release of something. That would pump the price for a day or two, or maybe some time. It doesn't last long. The macro factors are the factors that we need to track. Big economical changes, I mean, monetary policies and all, those matter a lot, in my opinion. Those are trend makers, and our focus need to be on those factors, in my opinion. Okay, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. But the main thing is technical analysis, that we have to rely on in crypto, especially because there is no fundamental like stock, no earning, nothing like that, except few things which you could track. That okay, if any particular coin is, let's say, getting into use like NFT or other use cases, maybe DeFi, then there are fundamentals in some cases in some coins, right? If they're reserve is increasing by some mean, or their usage is increasing by some means, those fundamentals would matter otherwise, but not many coins with those kind of fundamentals. So very very interesting, but the thing is the fundamentals are getting better, that's for sure, day by day, month over month. Okay, now we'll focus on TA. We'll go through the active FT coin list, right, and then see what they're trying to do. uh, as usual, we'll start with weekly, but we'll on Bitcoin we'll go deeper. So I'm starting with Alice. Alice, I won't spend a lot of time on alts unless there is anything major. Okay, and we'll focus more on Bitcoin, maybe some other topic. This is going still going down. Second green week, very encouraging. We want price to be somewhere here, right, above near S2. Atom staying there, second green candle, but you can see there's no momentum, right? There are move. It's just holding up. When you see this means it's holding up, right? It's neutral in terms of price action, right? It's not it neither at risk neither or nor opportunity kind of. It's just flat. Evax, amazing week last week. Now we can see it kind of hit the ceiling. This simple line can be drawn in many occasions. If I'm drawing simple line like this, you can connect and then you can clearly see that still it's below this line. So this is encouraging, but it always happens that they always touches. See, if you closely monitor what they do, you decide with the trend and they try to touch the trend and then goes down. So when they bounce, you feel like they are recovering. Of course they are recovering. There is a difference between process of recovering and recovery. Okay, so this is not recovered. You can say it requires this level, in this case 115 plus, for you can say it is recovered enough for new next level. This is a process of recovery but not recovered enough. Okay, so it's like that. BNB, BNB is now moving up. That's encouraging. Earlier it was more on this trend line. Now it is moving away from this kind of a support or trend line is a good news, right? That's a good news. Now it has to reach to the required level, then we can say okay, now it wants to go up. So this is transition period, recovery period, whatever you want to call. If the closer they are to the required level, better they are, right, in terms of recovery. Very simple. We are keeping very simple. Now let's look at BTC. So BTC without drawings, if you look at it, absolutely stunning. Why? Because these are really bad drawdowns. These usually, if you look at this kind of drawdown, this is like invitation to the crash. Like this is like there is a very when you see this kind of a drawdown, that means it's gone, kind of, historically speaking. If you look at any past data, if you see another week like that, that means it's even further confirmation. And when you see this move, that means it's astonishing. It's kind of shocking in a good way, because this is what you see here is not so. This is a rare occasion, to be honest. Rare occasion. This line is defended. This particular level, which is 37,000 range, is defended for last 4 weeks. And now especially, so this week was a week, like a defense. And this sorry, last week, my bad. And this week, if you look at, is now made higher high, right, and higher level. Yeah, still it has to break above February high, but it's very close. And this was very close, so that's why I am interested to see how the weekends. because we don't want this kind of a situation from here because it happened. So I would like this particular February high to be broken above, right? From candle point of view, which is 45,800. From candle point of view, there are different views. You can draw a trend line and then say the trend line is broken, or you can say this is my high. So there are different ways to look in. From from candle point of view, this candle's high that you see, we would like to make a new high, not just spike. Okay, we want price to close above this high. So if we get and able to close that high this week or next week, then I think it's in a position where we could say it wants new high or new all-time high, right? Because then there is no need to doubt. For an example, um, if you compare this with this, and history doesn't repeat, but sometime rhymes. And second candle that you see was very encouraging, and the high was higher than this. It closed below this one, but was very encouraging. So from here I would be bullish. So if you are bullish from here, there's nothing wrong in doing so, because this is the last level, as I say, for bears. Last level as in you cannot be bearish beyond this level. If it goes up to this level, this is your last level. If you believe in bears or bear market, probably this is the last level. Because after above this level, which is around 46,000 something, or maybe, but my number is 47,500 technically measured, right? So that number, so from current level to 40,000, 47,500 is the level you can say fine, you can still be bear and you can hope for breakdown. But beyond that, if you're, then you have to just drop the idea, in my opinion. So for an example, up to here, this is definitely bearish, okay, at this moment. When you see this is encouraging, that means it has defended. And when you see this, it means that now bear need to be careful because now it doesn't want to go down. And when you see this, that means it's a confirmation. Similarly, I'll say this is like defense and confirmation on what confirmation, that it doesn't want to go down. This candle, the way I interpret is kind of a gesture or message that it wants to go up. And once it closes above 47,500, my technical level, or maybe candle point of view, 46,000 plus, right? um, I would go with 47,500, not to confuse you all, right? So my TA method point of view, 47,500 is required. From a candle point of view, 46,200, let's say. Okay. Anyways, it's not a big difference in terms of percentage. So if we are able to if BTC is able to close above that, then there is no need to think about downside move. That means anyone who is looking for longer term upside move, could plan that way. Because in my opinion, um, it's not all in and all out. It's never be the case. When you see this, there always, then you can always get into something, then add something, and then add more for a longer term investment. For a short term, you can short on when it is high. Not on weekly, but we will see on a lower level. For an example, I'm into 1 day. To me, this is a perfect short position. Why? Because then I can get out here. So if I short here, this candle is showing a potential downside move. Okay, not crash or something like this. See, when you see this, it is never about crash. It is never about doomsday. It is never about deep correction. It is an indication that this is a resistance and it is not ready to go up. Not yet, not today, not now. That's the meaning. That means if I'm a short trader, I will take this short. Why? Because then my risk is 1.8%. I'll get out as soon as the previous candle is broken above. So that's my strategy. So I would risk 1.8. And what if we end up with this kind of a drawdown? Then I'll get that much of benefit with 1.7% of risk. So this is short term, right? So there are different type of traders and strategies that you have in mind. Sometimes it's not just one, but you might have long position, still you can short. That's also a strategy. You might keep some, let's say 70% long, but you keep some 30% for very short term opportunities, mix of both long and short. So for an example, you might have 70-80% long because you got second green candle, and as I explained, it's in a good position. So when you look at weekly, if anyone doubts this, then there is no reason to be doubting. Absolutely no. Here you have all right to doubt, because this is bearish from any point of view, from any angle point of view. This is bearish, means highest amount of pressure and potential downside move, right? But when you see this, you have to drop that idea on a weekly time frame. And when you see this one, you cannot think about crash on a weekly time frame. Okay, it has to go down all the way below 40k, which I mentioned last week, in fact early this week as well, that it has to break below 40, then only weekly would change. Okay, but otherwise no. So the traders could operate at different levels. So you might be thinking, you should not get confused with the message or analysis, because analysis is always time frame centric. You know what I'm saying? So for an example, how do I explain? Think about weather pattern. One way to see is a yearly pattern, where there are 3 to 4 season or 5 season, depends on the part of the country, right? 4 seasons, usually 4 seasons, uh, or maybe 2 seasons if you are near the equator, right? There are not much of a change, um, or I mean, on the pole side, north, or there's extreme weather. So point is, depends on the region. But if you think beyond and cycle point of view, ice age and all, then there is a bigger cycle you think of. you know the ice age lasted for a few thousand years, and so there's a bigger cycle environment point of view. There was the warmer climate was there in times of dinosaur, warmer than the current time. We are talking about global warming, but the time it was more warmer at the time of dinosaur, as per the study, and so on. So what kind of cycle are you tracking? Multi-year, multi-millennium kind of a thing. So it depends, the weather pattern depends, right? More ozone at that time, and very different environment totally than current. So but when you look at last few hundred years, then it's not different, but from ozone point of view. But from last few decades, it's a big difference, and so on. So when you talk about weather, real weather, right? Earth's weather, it all depends on what time frame we are talking about. Similarly, in trading, the analysis, when you do the analysis, whether I'm bearish or bullish, is always about time frame. You would agree, and if you don't agree, let me know, because then I can justify. Okay, so when somebody says I'm bearish, the first question you should ask, what time frame are you talking about? Okay, because you have to have time frame when you talk about bearish or bullish setup. When I talk about weekly, this is bullish. Okay, but when I talk about daily, I'm not bullish, I'm neutral, and potentially there is a potential dip I see here. So I cannot be that bullish, because how can I be bullish when there's a downside move, upside move, downside move, upside move, downside move, and upside move? When you look at this pattern on daily time frame, this is zigzag pattern. Of course, this is whole entire consolidation that you see, correct? But the point is, You cannot say for sure that I'm bullish, and you cannot say either that I'm bearish in a true sense. You can say we are into consolidation, but I'm saying why this is a short trade here, purely purely from risk management point of view, risk point of view. For an example, if you are here and if it's starting bouncing, to me this is a perfect long, because if even if it goes down, you can always get out here. When you see a bounce from here after this is perfect long, because you know that you can always get out here, and so on. Similarly, if you look at this, I'm not saying it's going to go down, but when you think from risk point of view, risk is 1.7, right? So I'm just trying to explain. I'm not saying you go short. This is not what I mean. What I mean is how perspective changes, how opportunities are created on different time frame. The time frame is very important. So when you look at weekly, it's different. When you look at monthly, it's different. When you look at daily, it's different. So you can be bearish or bullish, or opportunity or risk, depends on what time frame you operate. So first of all, I would suggest, so why I'm bringing this, so you might be keeping a long-term position from a weekly time frame point of view because it's bullish right now. However, you might keep some amount for short-term trading because it's not bullish on a lowest time frame, which is 1 day. No, I don't consider hourly and intraday as the lowest when you talk about spot trading, because usually intraday is for leverage trading. Okay, so if I talk about spot trading, um, I think going below 1 day in crypto is too much. It's unless you're doing leverage trading. Leverage trading, you have to. There is no choice. You have to sometimes go for a minute level or so, an hour, right? But the point is, I would stop at 1 day when it is spot trading, short term spot trading. Okay, in crypto, that's my style. Anyway, so when so the strategy, same person can have longer term position based on weekly chart, and same person can have short trade. So it's not that you're long, you have to be long. You can have long and you can have short, but think you cannot but you cannot have long on 1 day scale and again short on 1 day. That's confusing. So you have to keep weekly trend in mind and say 70% of my money, for an example, is long based on weekly, but my 30% I can go short if I wish based on daily. It's not contradiction. If you are thinking that contradiction, it's not, because your time frame is different. Your strategy is tied up to your time frame. That's why you're not contradicting yourself. Okay. So I would take this trade, short trade, happily and get out, for example. So that's doable. So why I'm bringing this, because sometimes explanation is required. When somebody says I'm bullish or bearish, I have to explain through example. Every week I try to bring some topic beyond TA, just to add some value, whatever I experienced. So somehow it could be helpful to you, especially when you're new. So I today I ended up talking about time frame and bullish and bearish nature with respect to time frame, right? Because generally it is not so I mean it's not so understood or explained, whatever, like usually people are polarized. That means they are either bull or bear, very much. And I say you can be both even. And because last session I mentioned the chart can be bearish and bullish, you don't have to be bull or bear. That's what this is, another aspect in the same um, on the same topic, right? Because you're interpreting the chart at a specific time frame, and then you're saying this is bearish or bullish. You are not bear or bull. Your goal is to find opportunity. Anyway, so on daily, how does it look? So we talk about weekly, right? So on daily, um, I added this blue band yesterday, right? This is February high, so we wanted to see February high, because if you look at, this is a lower high with respect to this high, right? This is lower high, and this high is also good one, right? Good bounce, but this was also good. When you look at this one, can you say this was not good enough? Of course it was good, but we didn't know the future and this happened, right? Of course we called out this one, right? We called out this one when it pumped. Anyway, so point is, this is not higher high technically, this is lower high. So this is discouraging that way. But what is encouraging is, this is higher low, this is low. So if you look at this structure, what you have to keep in mind, the consolidation zone is this zone. Starting from this, or maybe you can start with, but I would keep this maybe, right? Because why, my required level is this. So I would just project on the left hand side and say, this is my start, okay? And this is my higher level. This is my lowest level, right? And I would keep this whole entire thing into one box. Can I do this? Yeah, I can do it, right? So I'll just make this orange and little lighter, like this. Now if you look at it, this is my high, this is my lowest point. Then this is my first major bounce. You don't consider this, right? This is single wave. Now this is first bounce, which is lower high. Then it dropped, but higher low, because this low, this is higher low. This is another bounce attempt. This is lower high, lower than the previous high. So what is happening? High, lower high, dropped, dropped, but stopped here. That means this is lower, sorry, higher low. This is low, higher low, higher low. So what we have observed, that we have observed two lower highs and two higher lows. So this is a pattern where the you can so this is, I had added this drawing earlier, very simple. The pattern is still continuing, where it is in kind of a zigzag manner, but the wave is contracting, right? The wave is shrinking, not in a proportional manner, right? But shrinking. Here the dimension do not matter. Higher low and lower high matters, okay? um, but one thing you can say, this is very encouraging that it is reaching near the previous high. And it is very encouraging that this low was not like low for sake of making new low, but pretty higher. I mean, this is higher than this, and this is quite higher than. So the that also matters. And these are like lower highs, but more or less the same, more or less, right? But with respect to this is still not high enough. So that way, technically speaking, they are still lower highs, but encouraging, right? It's not that this high is up to this, and it's not that this high is up to this, right? So that's why it's encouraging. So this structure, the consolidation is very encouraging from that point of view, that the pressure is building more from the downside. Like if you think this is a ceiling, right? If this is a ceiling of a floor, then the pressure is building up. It wants to break above, right? Which is very good to see. Now, having said that, you understood the skeleton, you understood the structure, right? But ultimately the orange box matter, right? And but ultimately the orange box matter. And if I drill down further, so I, at least this part is clear to you, right? Higher low, lower high, how the consolidation is happening, importance of blue line, importance of the 47,500. You got it now, right? Here I have 48,000. I think I changed it, my bad. Last week I changed it, so I would like to correct myself. Now new level is 48,000, right? Not 47,500, because the wave structure changed a bit. I had to bump up a bit. Anyways, not a major difference though. Look at, so this is very simple. There is no risk, but there is a, if there is a, if there, it could go down, like not like all the way, but there could be a another dip up to maybe this level and then goes up and then shoot up, because this is as I said, the wave is shrinking. So maybe this may continue like this, you know, one more dip and then go up, you know, because then usually the wave, you know, contracts, they shrinks a lot and then they shoot up. Usually that's what happened. So from that theory point of view, when there could be one more dip before it goes down, and if it is really in a bad mood, then if it will go down, continuing down. So in that case, this is my key support 40k, which I mentioned. From also from weekly point of view, it is important that if you look at the weekly low is 40,467, right? That means this is also in line with weekly. We don't want price to be broken below 40k. Anything above 40k, I say don't worry. In simple words, there's nothing to worry, nothing to think about, major downside, absolutely no need. But there is a difference, you if there, because this is potentially indicating a dip here on a one day. You may take a chance that way, right? It's not that you have to, because it might go down up to this level or up to this level and then goes up, right? So this is only for short term player. However, if it goes below or breaks below 40k, then I think we should be little concerned. In that case, I would I would be little concerned, because I would then say, you know what, I'm right now, if I draw this line, then below 40k, that means breaking below this yellow line, and I would not like to see that. Maybe I'll keep it. So I would not like this yellow line to be broken. That's why I would not like 40k to be broken by any means. So if you want to track anything, any if you want to track one thing, you track 40k, in short. Okay, that's my message from risk management point of view. And be prepared for one potential dip, okay, because it's indicating so. So I hope you understand the difference between dip, difference between key level, how it is different on one day, how it is different on weekly, you know. So risk depends on what level you operate. So first of all, if you are not trading or not investing based on time frame, I think you should think about it. I insist, I cannot, I insist that you decide. If you haven't decided, you decide what is your time frame. Everybody should know what is your time frame, because bullish and bearish is based on time frame only. So if you haven't decided, you decide today. It is required. Let's look at lower time frame, maybe lower than 12 hours and 4 hours. Let's see. So if you in a 4 hours, I have another line, which is this line, which is, this is nothing for this is for very intraday traders, right? This kind of a thing. And yeah, this is indicating of a dip and all that. On a 1 hour, if you look at 1 hour, if you look at 1 hour, you can also draw one line. And before the call started, I added this line, and if you look at it, it's likely to break. Looking at what it's doing, high probability of breaking. But breaking doesn't mean end of the world, because this is 1 hour. It could go down up to this and then bounce and all, because it so the lines can be drawn at different levels, depends on what level you operate. You I think I'm proving the point different ways, right? If you look at this one, so if you are operating, this is your line at 1 hour. If you operating at 8 hours, maybe this is your line. If you are operating at one day, right, then probably this is your line, right? And if you are operating that this line doesn't matter, I mean it matters in this case because it's 40K, but still, yeah. So this is a perspective. Okay, so everybody, I hope would decide what level you are going to operate. If you are not doing it, it is really important. So this is Bitcoin. We covered at different level. We haven't seen monthly. We'll see monthly quickly. We can get into, I always miss this one, Bitstamp. Monthly is improving. You can clearly see it was red, it turned green, right? So looking good, but we want a solid, bigger green candle like this on a monthly. This might end up with a kind of a doji candle because 4 days are left. So if it improves and breaks above 46K plus, then monthly will be super solid. If it dips a little and ends a month like that, then it's dicey. It means you cannot be, it's not convincing. Why? Because then if it closes here, means closing below, kind of below this previous high and previous to previous Jan high. I would like to close like this, where it closes above this, then it looks strong. So I would like it to close at least above February level, which is, what is the Feb high on a monthly, which is 40,500. So 46 we can say, yeah, which is similar to weekly actually. From candle point of view, let's not mix up from candle point of view. So if month high above 46K, in my opinion, is from a month candle point of view, is good enough, satisfactory, more than satisfaction actually. Okay, so that's the definitely monthly has improved as I speak. 4 days to go, 5 days to go. So we'll see how it goes, and maybe we'll review on 31st of March, right? And see where it stands. But this is very encouraging, very positive. So monthly is positive, weekly is, I would say, not just positive but strong. Interestingly, daily is neutral. Usually that's not the case, but it is the case. If the weekly is strong, daily has to be strong, logically speaking, but I would say it's on edge. Okay, because the way it behaved twice here, I want to see if it goes down, how deep it goes down, whether it limits itself up to 40K or goes beyond, and that is going to drive everything. The week on daily, unique case, but true, I am neutral, if, simply because of the reasons I explain or, or describe. Anyway, so I'll move on with other coins, but if you have any question, do ask me. I'm happy to answer. Okay, so we'll go back on our weekly time frame. I think I covered everything for Bitcoin. Cool. Okay, let's look at see how, not bad, but this is huge consolidation, right? killed consolidation. It's here. It has to be here at least. So this is not good enough. Encouraging, but not good enough. This might be very boring, but that's true. What you're observing in many cases is like this kind of a zigzag, higher lows and lower high kind of a scenario. This is what is happening. This is the structure of growth, right? Low high, low high, low high. So the whole entire thing is, and you can say this is my midline. You know, this is my midline. The midline is not so important. What you want to see here is over here. You want crow to break above this level. That's what I'm saying. This blue 0.54 that you see, it has to break above, right? This is not good enough. So you understand what I'm saying, why I'm saying this, because this is still this, and we don't know. This might continue like this, and then like this, and then decision like this, or something like this. So the point is, this is like, this phase is consolidation phase. It's not giving any clue on the ultimate direction. What it is telling, that it's just not a consolidation, it's in balance. That's also important. If it comes down to this level, then it's off balance, because then it is close to this one, then it's off balance. This is in balance. So I think when you look at consolidation, you have to see, is it in balance or it's off balance, right? And off balance from like bearish, in other words. So it's not conclusive at this moment. It's not decisive yet. Doge is very different. Doge is in total bear trend. Okay. Yesterday it went up by 5%. Some of you might got excited. I mean, not yesterday, day before yesterday, that it went up by 5%. But you see what it did. It erased that gain totally. Yeah, it dropped and erased. So I can understand when you see 5-6% after a lot of day many after many days. I can totally understand. But those who are understanding the big picture understand that what is the good level. This is not just consolidate. This is already in bear trend. Already in bear trend. Okay, very weak, pretty weak. So it's going down basically. It's making low. Why I'm saying simple? Because simple thing. This is low. This is low. This is low. It's making new low, and there is no new high. It's going down. Simple, right? So this is already in bear market. Some coins are already in bear market. Some coins are in horizontal consolidation. So there are only three flavors. Either they are in the downtrend already, like this coin and a few other coins, or they are moving horizontally, like Crow, I explained, or some coins like Luna going up. They are not horizontally, they are all-time high, near all-time high and all. So you see the difference. So there are, you can, we I would like to categorize all these coins into only three categories. Are they in downtrend? Are they horizontally consolidating, or are they going up and more into ascending channel? So this is in descending channel, right? BTC is in what? It's horizontal. Why horizontal? Simple reason being, look at this high. These are two highs, and these are the lows. Right? So this is a moving horizontally, isn't it so? This is not descending, unlike Doge. This is descending. Up to this, see, up to this, if I hide this, you can say this is horizontal. Makes sense. Why? Because there is no new low here. But the moment it made this one, it's gone. and since then it's drifting away. So I hope this will give you more clarity. When you look at different coins, you look at weekly, and right now I'm doing it for you, but it's this is very useful technique for you. Okay. Dot, now when you look at dot, this is very similar to Bitcoin. When you it looks like I've been saying this as if it's Bitcoin chart. There is no difference, almost identical. Anyways, this is also horizontal consolidation, and this consolidation is still happening on a lower side, not somewhere here. So you can further bifurcate that. So if it is horizontal, where they stand, is it the lower part of the half, or the upper part? So if this is higher and this is low, this is still lower, so okay, it has to do more work. EGLD, now you can see this is moving up in ascending order, so this is much better, much better than. So this is a coin which you will say this is a coin which is moving up. It already made new high, and this is trying to climb up, right? So EGLD is like Luna, ascending channel, so that means stronger. This is also much better, much better. This, the Ethereum is stronger than Bitcoin, by the way, right? From TA point of view, but structure wise kind of similar. It has to also do the same thing. It has to break above February high. Flux, now it's easier, so I can go faster probably. Flux, it's still in the lower side, it has to do more work. FTM is still in the downtrend because it made new low, but I would say horizontal fine. If I consider this, we can say this is still okay. So this is a little tricky, but so we can say still this is not as bad as Doge. The Gala is still in downtrend. Okay, this has to be broken above this level, green level you see here. This is still up below the red line, so that's not good for me. I mean, not good enough, below the support level also. So the Gala is doing well for last 3 weeks in terms of making 3 green candles on weekly, but it has to do much more, right? It has to. So not good enough, not in a negative sense, but we cannot say it's there, right? When you see green candle, it's always positive. When I say not good enough, means it has to do more. Maybe I can use that phrase. So this also has to do more, right? This is still here. We want here, somewhere here. KCS is one of the strongest. So it's holding up very well. It's sticking to this line. Very interesting. Sticking to the line. And but it should move away. It cannot just keep doing this. It has to sit here, not here, not in here, in here. Then it's good. KDA, KDA. This was a projection, but this will fail if it breaks above the required level. Okay, very simple. But so this was added not just for KDA, it's just for to explain actually. This blue, I think, path was added to explain how the coins are dropping or progressing on the downside. Some of the coins, not all, those are. So this is like already going down, right? And it could extend that, but I must add another thing, that if it is able to break above this level, even I may add green level from here actually. Oh, here R4 is good enough. Then it will change. So this is like, I don't I would say it's still in a downtrend consolidation. Chainlink is definitely in a downtrend, but it's a weird thing because it's a huge consolidation. Like it started even before. So if you think from this point of view, it's in downtrend, of course. So I think I added from here. That's why. But if you think from all-time high, it's still going down, right? And it made new low, right? It made new low, so it's going down. So this is a weak, comparatively weaker coin. Luna, Luna is number one coin from all angles, strongest coin. Yesterday I highlighted a potential dip. I see a rounding top here and exhaust, some kind of, you know, loss in energy. That's something we'll come to know in a week, in my opinion. If it breaks above interim resistance, then of course I'll call off. I mean, you can ignore that call. Otherwise, uh, I think this is the beginning of the downfall for Luna. So, but it my call will be invalidated if interim resistance, which is 101, I would say 102. If it breaks above 102, then you ignore what I said in terms of downside. Otherwise, we could see 40s, nothing in between. Of course, if it breaks above this, we are going to see R5 in that case. So, right, why not? And potentially higher, not just R5, higher. This is still downtrend, Mana. Uh, Below the line, we are keeping yellow color. So this might go up and react. It might go up and react. Matic. Matic, you touch the yellow like what we saw for some of the coins. This is the third week, right? Very encouraging. So once it enters the channel, then we can say that's good now, right? Very encouraging. Okay, now the next is, but this is like, actually, you know what? I can tweak a bit, but I don't want to because then it will change the symmetry. I'll just keep it like that. Okay, the next one is RNDR. RNDR is staying there. There is nothing much to comment on RNDR in my opinion. It's not doing much. Sand, sand is still there. Similar status. So if you look at it's going down, it has to be about S1. Nothing much to talk. SKL is improving. If you have seen the spectrum, I already mentioned that the video spectrum, very good spectrum analysis, and spectrum based analysis. I would say spectrum is giving us really good visibility and levels. It's So if you haven't referred spectrum video, I would say try and see. You like it. Based on spectrum, I highlighted that SKL could do well, and it did, because there was a gap from one resistance to another on spectrum. Maybe I'll turn on the spectrum. See, it broke the blue, and I said then there is a huge gap. That's why. So it worked well. SOL, Solana um, is approaching S2, which is encouraging. But still it's downtrend. The weakness of Solana, sorry, Solana is not going away. Same story, VRA. Now you're not amazed what is happening. XRP, much better, much better. It has to be above R1, right? It has to be still. This is like sideways consolidation, not in a downturn, not like in a bearish kind of a trend, like some coins that we saw. So this is still in a good, stronger position. Right. With this one, I think we have gone through all the coins in detail because the focus is trend. The levels are given already. Relative strength, also you have spectrum, so you can use spectrum along with this during the week, right? uh, and what else? Yeah, I think I covered a lot of topics that I found useful. Yeah, we can end this session here. Maybe we can have a quick look at month end, how monthly candle closes, monthly price closes. So we'll reconvene on end of the month. So yeah, otherwise, see you next week.